They are doing a full restart. Looks like Nevio Fischer had an issue with the left rear wheel. It was bouncing up and down when the 236 tried to move forward, so has opted not to take any further part. So they are currently underway with a formation lap once again, and the grid will be as follows. Valentin Klus in the 201 starts from pole position, ahead of Nikita Genza in the 226 with Farin Mega, Kian Agassade, Rafael Renhofer, Luis Jacobs. Looks like Janis Diak and Rafael Balzer will be followed by Pedersen from Denmark in the 247, Magnus Pedersen. Then Louis Detling, Maurice Schmeis and Luigi Gazzo. So it looks like we will be down to, I think, 12 drivers as a result of everything that has just so happened. So the drivers get themselves ready for the final 11 minutes plus one additional lap of the season here in 2020. Red lights on the gantry. The drivers come out of the final corner. They bury the accelerators to the floor. It is lights out. They are off and racing, and Farin Mega looking to try and get up the inside past Nikita Genza through the first couple of corners and makes the move stick. Renhofer now up into fourth place, as Luis Jacobs looks to have also gotten past Rafael Renhofer. Sorry, not Rafael Renhofer, Kian Agassade in the process. And then you've got Janis Diak and Rafael Balzer, followed by Magnus Pedersen. Leon Arndt was a non-starter. Nevio Fischer is a retirement before the race even got underway through the first part of the formation. So Gazzo in front of Maurice Schmeis in the 210, as there's a little bit of closure between certain drivers, as it looks like there's been a few changes behind at least the top four drivers, as now Maurice Schmeis has got up to 10th place. Luigi Gazzo now drops down to 12th place, so Nevio Fischer will effectively be declared as a retirement before the first formation lap truly got underway. So Klus ahead of Mega, Renhofer, Genza, Agassade, Jacobs, Stiak, Rafael Balzer, Magnus Pedersen and Maurice Schmeis. They round out the top 10, all covered by just over 3.5 seconds after the completion of the very first lap, as now Genza goes back up the inside to now take third place off of Rafael Renhofer in the 233. They come around the final corner. Klus leads from Mega. Genza goes defensive on Renhofer through into turn number 1 and keeps third place for the minute. Agassade being pressurised not just by Luis Jacobs, but then also factor in Janis Diak in the 238. As Luigi Gazzo now makes it through, as now Renhofer back up the inside of Genza, but Genza not giving up, and then all of a sudden Agassade looks to the outside, then looks to the inside. The 233 gets pushed a little bit wide. That allows Janis Diak to get into the action. And it is all kicking off outside of the top 5 positions, as now Luis Jacobs gets past Kian Agassade for 4th place. Rafael Balzer showing a very good account, the youngster in the 217, just behind the 233 of Rafael Renhofer. Janis Diak in 8th ahead of Magnus Pedersen. Maurice Schmeis still rounds out the top 10 who are covered, as now up the inside on Luis Jacobs goes Kian Agassade in the 262. Another change for 4th place, as now Stiak I think was a little bit far behind Renhofer, but managed to get past, as Renhofer pushed a little bit wide there, coming out of the penultimate left-hander. As Renhofer goes surging back up the inside, looks like Janis Diak has just been passed by the 233. We'll just keep an eye. That's not Janis Diak, that might be Louis Detling, I believe. But Valentin Klus has nearly an 0.8 of a second advantage over Farin Mega. The pair are literally to the decimal point on the same lap times by 1/1000th of a second. Farin Mega just puts in the fastest lap of a 47.280, and Valentin Klus A further 1/1000 slower on that last lap after 4 laps completed. As there's a bit of jostling for position once again, and that's where Maurice Schmeis is involved. Raphael Renhofer just behind, and then you've got Magnus Pedersen. As now Luis Jacobs goes up the inside of Kian Agassade to now reclaim 4th place with just over 6 minutes and 45 seconds of the season plus a lap still to go. The leaders have now exited the chicane and onto the far part of the circuit. So whilst Klus, Mega and Genza are getting away like they have been doing, Kian Agassade now has Rafael Balza for company in the 217. And just behind, Luis Jacobs battling away with Janis Stiak in the 238. And Stiak looked to the inside, but Jacobs quick to close the door very, very abruptly. Now Balza, this is the highest the number 217 has run so far this weekend. Now, with the fact that the fog lifted quite a few hours ago, it has meant that pure 2020 visibility is available to all the drivers. And that's why the lap times have really come down. Nikita Genza sets the fastest lap of the race on a 47.004. It's now Rafael Renhofer trying to get away from Maurice Schmeis and Magnus Pedersen as Renhofer rounds out the top 8 places. And Kian Agassade trying to respond against Rafael Balza, who is quite close to the rear bumper of the 262 on the previous lap. Now extends the gap to nearly 2.5 of a second. But Balza showing good poise, good concentration, just concentrating on the target in front, and that is the 262 of Kian Agassade. Valentin Klus now has a 0.6787 lead over Farin Mega, but Mega looks to be slightly closing that gap. Or has it been extended? 0.754 as Klus sets a personal best. Nikita Genza puts in another fastest lap of the race, the 46.988 in the 226. And now between 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th, it is closing. But Agassade has got away a little bit from Rafael Balza to the tune of just over 0.3 of a second. Then you add Luis Jacobs and Janis Stiak just off of there too. So Balza running at the top 5, now embroiled in a 3-way battle for 5th position. Leaders cross the line to complete lap number 9. As now Jacobs trying to go up the inside of Balza through turn 1 and makes the move for 5th place. But Balza, having held on for as long as possible, now has the opportunity to fight back and retake the place. It's a very bumpy, twisty circuit here at Wittgenborn, and it does test the drivers. Braking, rotating the kart, powering out of the corners at the correct points on the circuits. Farin Mega, last time round, set the fastest lap of the race of 46.943. On the completion of lap 9, we're about to go into double figures as Valentin Klus crosses the line once again. The gap now is just 0.65. Balza still trying to hold on for 6th position. Magnus Pedersen has got past Maurice Schmeis for 9th place, a little bit further down the order. Now you can add Rafael Renhofer to the back of that 5-kart train being led by Kian Agassade, who still holds 4th with 2 minutes and 38 seconds still remaining in the season. And Renhofer looks to have made some inroads. Up to 6th goes the 233 ahead of Stiak, and also Balca, who now drops to 8th position. And Nikita Genza sets a personal best that time around with a 46.950, top 3. Not as close as we've seen, especially earlier on today in their first of 2 races to conclude the season. As Agassadi now coming under real pressure from Luis Jacobs in the 2:28. That's the battle for 4th and 5th respectively. And Jacobs looking a little bit closer, up the inside he goes, through past Kian Agassadi in the 2:62 to take 4th place. But this is allowing Rafael Renhofer, Janis Stiak and Rafael Balca to close as Agassadi goes back up the inside of Jacobs to retake 4th. Whilst they're battling, look how close Rafael Renhofer is through turn 1 on Luis Jacobs. Nicely done by the 2:33, looking to strike, but we've got 70 seconds plus 1 lap of the season remaining. The gap between Valentin Klus and Farin Mega now closes to just 4/10. Genza sets another fastest lap of the race. Battle for 4th, 5th and 6th well and truly ignited. As Renhofer now senses the opportunity, goes up the inside and manages to get past Luis Jacobs with the slightest amount of side pod rubbing. But that means Renhofer now has the opportunity. Farin Mega, once again, he's closing, but the time is running out. Klus won the first race, looks to hopefully secure the second, and provisionally speaking, secure the title on the final race of the season. As they've got just under 30 seconds as the 3 leaders go through the chicane. Agassadi is still holding on for 4th place, but Renhofer might quickly run out of time to not be able to capitalise and get past the 2:62. Leaders now coming through the last right-hander here at the circuit, through into the penultimate left corner, then into the left-hander that brings it onto the start-finish straight. Last lap board of the season for Junior Rotax. So Klus had a 0.31 second advantage over Farin Mega, who was only fractionally quicker by just 16 thousandths on the completion of lap 14. We're on the 15th and final lap of this race. After a combined total of 15 races for Junior Rotax, it comes down as Valentin Klus looks behind to see how far away Farin Mega is and knows that it is just literally corners away. 2 more turns after the last right-hander. Valentin Klus now puts the power down round the final corner. The 2:01 takes the checkered flag, and I think with it, the Junior Rotax title in 2020. Farin Mega finishes 0.3 of a second adrift in second place ahead of Nikita Genza. Kian Agassadi, if he'd have had another lap, that would have been curtains for him for 4th place, as Rafael Renhofer closed to within 0.272 seconds at the end, taking 5th ahead of Janis Stiak. Rafael Balca finished in 7th ahead of Luis Jacobs. Magnus Pedersen from Denmark finished in 9th ahead of Louis Detling, Maurice Schmeis and Luigi Gazzo. So the final of the 12 competitors that finished the race after 15 laps, with Nevio Fischer not making it to even the start and Leon Arndt a non-starter.